Welcome back to Life on Two Wheels. What you see here is the sunset in Cedar Key. Our day actually started at the Gibson Inn in Apalachicola. In this episode, we make our way south along Route 98, then west to end the day at Cedar Key. Along the way, I ride 2-up with Bill, we play at the beach, see some rusty trucks, run into an intrepid cyclist, drink a little wine, and I learn to fly.
So here we are. Ken got up very, very early, like 6 o'clock, and he repaired the exhaust gasket that blew out during our ride yesterday. You can see that that gasket is pretty much blown out, and where that fits on the bike is it fits way down here, and I want it to come down. You can't even see where the bloody thing goes. Anyway, down underneath in the guts of the bike somewhere. And I wanted to film him repairing this thing, but he did it without me. So much for that.
The story of the blown exhaust gasket began the previous day. Even before Ken and I met up with Jim, I suspected that the gasket was on its way out. Ken thought I was hearing things, and Jim was tentative about whether it was a real thing or not. By the time we met up with Bill and Perry and I mentioned the gasket again, Bill didn't hesitate for a second. "Ken, David's right, that exhaust gasket's going." I wasn't surprised to learn that each of our cannonballers had a spare exhaust gasket with them. That's what you call experience. Before the day began in earnest, Bill took me on a casual architect's tour of Apalachicola.
My arms aren't long enough to get a shot.
Want to see the town a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Picture of the shrimp boat.
Rodney and Candy. Well, it's nice and quiet. I was going to say for a Sunday morning, but it's actually a weekday morning.
Thursday, I think.
Yep. People are going to give a shit for not being at GAT.
Small town like this is nice and relaxed. All right. It's not a big town. The tours are short.
Yeah, that's it. The tours are short, but short and sweet.
I got used to riding.
On our return to the Gibson Inn, our Vespas attracted some curious onlookers. That's not at all uncommon when you ride a Vespa. The Vespas are really good icebreakers.
What's a trusted friend?
You know,
Yeah, it is.
I had that, and I got
You got to be pretty trusting.
We crossed over the causeway at Apalachicola, then stopped a little ways down the road at the beach in Carrabelle.
So you can't come to Florida and not go for a walk on the beach. It's just unseemly. It's like going to Maui and not going for a walk on the beach. It's absolutely stunning down here. Absolutely beautiful. Not much of a surf here. Oh, there you go. And again. No matter how wet you think you're going to get when you go to a beach, you always get wetter than you thought. But fortunately, these boots are not only made for walking, for riding, but they're also thoroughly waterproof. So there was no consequence to getting my toes wet. So go see what the lads are up to.
One of the really nice things about a group ride is the banter we exchange during the breaks with strangers or over our headsets as we ride down the road. In the parking lot, we stopped to chat with a fellow who was retired from the U.S. Coast Guard. He said that Carrabelle Beach was used to train for the D-Day invasion of Nazi-occupied Europe. I'll bet not many people know that.
Hello, David. Nice to see you here on our sunny beach. Back in
Oh,
World
it's
War
a
II,
beautiful-
30,000 soldiers were here.
30,
Oh, wait a minute. We got a photo bomb.
Here we go. How many? 30,000. So this is where you say D-Day happened?
This is D-Day. This is where D-Day happened.
This is where
Why do you
D-Day
say this is the
happened.
best sand?
White. See how white
Yeah, yeah.
sand it is?
How fine it is.
Right. No, actually, we got some down in Gulf Island with
What's the
State
say?
Park with Grace. Because my dad, we wrote to my dad, and he said, "Yeah, that's silica. That's pure silica. You could use that for her pots when she was making pots." Carried it all the way across country. It wasn't worth a damn. 2 pounds of it in a little Volkswagen. I could have used that space for a souvenir.
A little later, we stopped to pose the bikes on a pedestrian bridge. Our next stop to stretch our legs on the way back to Perry was outside of Crawfordville. There was a kind of old Farmtruck Graveyard that was one of those curious attractions listed in Roadside America. After marveling at the trucks and speculating about production years, we hit the road again. It was time for BLTs at Pouncey's and Perry. If you don't understand exactly what that means, go on back and watch episode 4 of Life on Two Wheels. There was yet one more surprise stop before lunch. Ken commanded a U-turn out of the blue. We doubled back and then pulled over. Ken wanted to have a chat with a transcontinental cyclist. It turned out to be Mark Maga, who had recently set out on a planned 3-year bicycle tour of America. See the show notes on the blog for a link to Mark's Facebook page. Mark had put together a sweet 2-wheel touring combo, complete with solar cells to charge his
It's not the name, Bob. It's B.O.B.
Yeah.
And the model is the Ibis. The Ibis has suspension. The Yak does not. The Ibis weighs 3 pounds more. Just the trailer. It's factory spec 17. I didn't confirm that, but I did weigh the trailer after I got it all finished and empty.
But that's what you've done here. That's clever, out of PVC tubing.
Yeah, you can bend it easy enough. You pack it full of sand, heat it in the oven. You know, around 220 degrees, it becomes very soft. I use a mixing bowl for this curve, and just my eye for that.
And then what about the bag? Does that stock, or did you have build up?
Oh yeah, a local cannabis guy in Daytona started up. Did a really shitty job.
Did he?
No, it looks good from a distance, but yeah, you know, a lot of tightness on both sides. You keep, and, you know, it doesn't quite come to the end.
Yeah.
I'm missing a little bit of volume. I'm a little upset about that.
No.
Yeah, the raccoons came in and took all my cookies 2 nights in a row up at Key Biscayne, right outside of Miami.
Yep.
Place is thick with raccoons.
Yes, they are.
And what do you got in here? Your 10 poles?
No, that's a document tube that I carry spare inner tubes in.
Oh. So you have your tent and sleeping bag and everything in there?
I have a hammock.
A hammock.
Yeah, hammock.
A 3-year adventure.
I'm hoping that's the plan.
Cool. Where are you from originally?
Pennsylvania,
Where about?
Susquehanna County,
Yeah.
northeastern corner.
Now, there's 2 bikers in front of you that we saw yesterday.
Yeah, that's Tom and Doug.
One's towing a trailer, and
Yeah.
And one's not very friendly when you wave at him.
Oh.
well, the other one looks like he's carrying a whole ship pot load of gear.
Yeah, the
guy
fellow
in the
that's
back.
carrying the trailer is the same model as this, but without all the modifications.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also the Bob Ibis.
Yep.
After we had our BLTs at Pouncey's, Jim introduced me to a stately live oak tree next to the restaurant.
So if you hang around interesting people, you learn interesting stuff, and you go to interesting places. So here is a live oak tree And we don't have live oak trees back home, pretty sure. And it's got Spanish moss hanging from it, which is a kind of a symbiotic thing. And then it also has ferns growing on it, and these are called resurrection ferns. And they're really quite pretty, and the combined effect is quite interesting. So that's one of the things I learned from Jim. I knew about Spanish moss, but I didn't know about the resurrection ferns. So, chalk up a new thing to learn to a road trip.
After lunch, we were all set for a lengthy stretch of highway riding. Before too long, it was time for another Ken Wilson surprise. What better way to reward ourselves than a visit to a winery? A winery in Florida? That's right, a winery in Florida. Not quite Provence en Amérique, but not too shabby at all. There was one final surprise before Cedar Key. Who knew that I would learn to fly a Vespa? Eventually, we made it to our final destination, our last stop on this amazing adventure and home for the night. We watched an amazing Gulf sunset, went to Tony's for fish and chips and mouth-watering, award-winning clam chowder, and enjoyed a late evening stroll back to the motel. The next morning, there was a wicked chill in the air. Jim had made the mistake of parking his Vespa across the street from where we parked. The mistake was parking next to a Harley. I have no doubt that the squadron of mean birds targeted their poop at the Harley and that Jim's Vespa was just collateral damage. Ah, the fog of war. Jim hit the road to make it back in time for his wedding anniversary. Bill, Ken, and I had breakfast at the 1842 Daily Grind in Cedar Key. Great coffee and a crab and egg and English muffin breakfast sandwich that was pure delight. Then we said farewell to Bill, and Ken and I hit the road for St. Petersburg. What an amazing adventure these 2.5 days had been. No matter what, the end is always bittersweet. Stay tuned. Come back to me for the next episode of Life on Two Wheels, where you'll get one more treat from this Northern Florida tour. A glimpse into what makes Ken Wilson tick and talk. Don't forget to subscribe, click to like this video, visit the blog for the detailed show notes, and I'll see you next time on Life on Two Wheels.